A lot better of a performance from the Toronto Raptors there this evening against the Boston Celtics in Game 2. However, moral victories, they don't happen in the playoffs as the Raps go down 2-0 to the Celtics, losing 102-99. And it's plain and simple. It's blunt, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like I said in the last video, it's a make or miss league, the NBA. And when the Raptors needed to make shots in the fourth quarter, they didn't. I don't even know what the final numbers were for the fourth quarter on, how many points they scored in that fourth. All I know is that late in this ball game, I don't know exactly what time or if anything was added to it, but I did see the stat popped up, and it said at one point the Boston Celtics were 7 of 10 from 3, and the Raptors were 1 of 10 from 3 in the fourth quarter. And as I've said to you guys all year long, it's not a matter of who gets the biggest run in the game or who has the biggest lead in the game, which the Raptors did at 12. It's a matter of who makes the biggest punch when they need to make that punch. And like I said, the Celtics were 7 of 10 from 3 in the fourth quarter, where the Raptors were 1 of 10. Made their shots when they needed to. The Raptors did not, and they lost. It's plain and simple. You gotta give credit where credit is due. The Boston Celtics played an extremely good basketball game. Marcus Smart hit 5 straight threes. You don't see that too often, but again, in the fourth quarter when you need it, he made it happen. That was like Fred VanVleet last year for the Raptors against Milwaukee. He came out of nowhere and was unbelievable in that series against Milwaukee, knocking every shot down. That was like Marcus Smart today. Tatum, unbelievable. Jaylen Brown, he's amazing. Kemba, even though he was, he wasn't the greatest today, still made some big shots in the fourth quarter. The Raptors played a better basketball game, but not good enough. Defensively, yeah, I'd say they play well enough. There were some times where they had some defensive breakdowns, but that's every team in any game. And were there some shots that the Raptors should have made and didn't make? Yes. When Fred VanVleet had a wide open layup, didn't realize why he was so wide open, kind of made a weird jump for it and missed a now wide open layup. Yeah, that happened. Did Lowry miss back-to-back free throws? Yeah, he did. But you can't sit here and say, well, if we got those, you didn't. Plain and simple, when your team needed to make shots, you didn't. All right, now let's get to the game. In the first quarter, like I said, the Raptors came out guns a-blazing, looked pretty good, and it was 28-28 at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, we were actually -2, 22-20, and just like that, we're down by 2 at halftime. The thing that I like to look at, I'm like, the Raptors were playing really hard and driving into the paint a ton in that first half. And if any Boston Celtics fans say no, they weren't, you weren't watching the game. The Raptors were puncturing the paint constantly. You know how many free throws the Raptors had in that first half? 0. I'm not really sure how that works. But, again, I'm not going to blame the officials because you didn't make shots. It's just plain and simple. Would it have helped to get some calls that should have been there? Yeah. But you didn't. Plain and simple. In the third quarter, yeah, the Raptors really showed what's good. 30-20 in that third quarter, and I think they were like up by 8 or whatnot. I think it was 8 after 3 quarters of play. They're feeling fantastic. This reminds me a lot of Game 1 against Milwaukee last season. If you guys remember that, we're on the road against Milwaukee. We have a pretty good lead after 3 quarters. I think Pascal makes that buzzer beater shot to give us an extended lead there against Milwaukee after 3. We're like, wow, we're in pretty good shape here. You blow the lead in the fourth quarter and you lose Game 1. That's basically what happened here against Boston. And in that fourth quarter, they scored 32, again, when they needed it the most, and the Raptors, 21. Other than the second quarter, where even though your offense wasn't there for the Raptors, they still defended well and only allowed 22 points. You scored 20, but in the fourth quarter, you only scored 21 points, and defense wasn't there at 32. Now, like I said, Marcus Smart did knock down 5 threes. You guys can do the math. That's 15 points just for him on threes. So that's huge. But make or miss league. And that's what happened. Let's get to the numbers here real quickly here. You held them to 42% from the field. They still shot 40% from 3. Now, ideally, again, Marcus Smart did make 5 of their 15 threes in a matter of like 4 minutes or whatever the heck it was. Raptors shot 40% from the field and 28% from 3, guys. Just not good enough. Again, you have to credit the Celtics. You do have to give those guys credit because they're scrambling. Their rim protection defense, I didn't think it was great, but Williams and Tice have done a great job on the inside, and their perimeter defense has been really good too, especially with Marcus Smart flopping all over the place. I love Marcus Smart. You know, I got a lot of respect for that guy. I hate him as a player, and you know, Celtic fans probably hate Kyle Lowry, as everybody does, and that's fine. But I respect Marcus Smart, but I think it's kind of funny when he flops around and makes it pretty stupidly obvious. Those are the things that make me laugh. But other than that, I think he's a fantastic player and a great player to have on a team. But obviously not to play against. And free throw line, they were 23 for 25 from the line, 92%, and we were 84%, 16 of 19 from the free throw line. So again, not bad at the line, but again, you did not make your shots. Rebounding, 44-41 in favor of the Celtics in this one. Offensive glass, 7-4 in favor of the Raptors. But early in this game, the Celtics were all over the offensive glass, and that was a real issue. A couple of big putbacks for the Boston Celtics early in this game. Again, moving the ball, Raptors did a great job. 25 assists to their 18, 10 steals to their 6. They had 9 blocks to our 7. We only turned over the ball 12 times. They turned over 17 times. But again, when you don't make shots, all of these stats are absolutely meaningless, right? And let's go to the other ones. Points in the paint. Raptors were plus 20, 44-24, and lose in free throws. See, that's the part I'm trying to understand here. Second chance points were 7-6 in favor of Boston, even though we had 3 more offensive boards. See what I mean? They had a lot of those extra putbacks. Even though they didn't have a lot of offensive boards, they made them count. In the fast break, 16-13 in favor of Toronto. Points over turnovers, 25-15 in favor of the Raptors. Biggest lead of the game, 12 for the Raptors. Biggest lead for the Celtics was 8. And like I said, all these extra numbers, you know, steals, turnovers, points in the paint, fast break points, points over turnovers. Raptors won all those categories, but yet you look at the main ones, right? They still made 4 more threes than the Toronto Raptors, and it was just a really, really tough shooting night again for the Toronto Raptors as they lose game 2. And I think the key for game 3, make your threes. That's just it, man. I understand that we have been here before against Milwaukee. I understand we don't have Kawhi or Danny Green anymore. But this team, we have seen them. We have seen them make shots. Now we can talk about how the whole situations going on down in the States are really affecting the Raptors and whatnot. And they were, you know, a lot of the guys were debating leaving the bubble, as I assumed most players in the NBA would. But that's the thing, you know, everybody's going through this as well. So for the Raptors, I don't know. I'm not going to use that as an excuse because it's not really. And then their families are there now, so that's a big sigh of relief. You saw the video of Fred VanVleet and his 2 kids there, and I thought that was great, very wholesome. And Freddie looked great early on. I thought he was going to be huge in this game, but didn't make shots late in the game to come away with the win. I mean, that's just all that matters, right? Now, let's look to the stats here real quick. OG Anunoby, fantastic game. If we're talking about anybody who had a great game, it's definitely OG Anunoby. 20 points, 7 boards, 7 of 12 shooting, was 4 of 6 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line. He had a steal in the ball game and was a +6 while he was out there on the floor. He looked great. Pascal Siakam looked great early on, but kind of fell off. I mean, look, I understand, with Pascal, he's getting a lot of attention. And there are some numbers when I look at Pascal, I'm like, those are good numbers. I like to see that. Still, the 6 of 16 from the field is a real issue. People love to compare him to Jason Tatum. Well, I'll give you his numbers, and then I'll give you Jason Tatum's numbers. And we know what happened in Game 1 for Pascal. So now let's break down Game 2. Pascal had 17 points. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Those are the 2 things I look at, and I'm like, those are things I like to see. Got on the glass, and when he did get into some trouble, he moved the ball and have guys knock down their shots. But he shot 6 of 16, was 1 of 4 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, which is nice. 3 steals and a block in the game for Pascal, was only a -2. But again, we talk about making shots being the big issue for this team. You shot 6 of 16, your number 1 option. I mean, that's tough. It's hard to win games that way. You look at the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, 34 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. So he saw the same rebounds and assists as Pascal, but he doubled his points. Shot 8 of 17, just a shade under 50%, was 14 of 14 from the line. How the heck he got to the line 14 times, and the Raptors got there as a team 19 times, yet we doubled their points in the paint almost. I don't know, it's kind of hard to believe, but he was 4 of 7 from 3. Pascal attempted 4 threes. Tatum made 4 threes. So you look at this, guys, and I'm like, look, the number 1 option for the Celtics has outplayed the number one option for the Raptors. And I know we're all most of us are Raptor fans here, but you can't disagree with me there. I'm a Raptor fan through and through. I will always bleed Toronto. I hate Boston with a passion. But in the end, their best player, played better than our best player today. And they have in Game 1 and Game 2. Now let's get to the other guys. Marc Gasol actually made some shots today, but fouled out in this one. Only played 21 minutes and fouled out. 6 points, 4 boards, and an assist on 2 of 4, shooting 2 of 2 from the line. Missed both threes. He had to steal 2 blocks in the game. Turned the ball over 3 times and was a +7 while he was out there on the floor. So not a big issue for Marc Gasol. But again, I thought he was better today, a lot more active. But again, still, they're going to give him that shot from 3. And as a team is not shooting well from 3, you need someone to knock down some shots. And you're not really seeing that right now. Kyle Lowry, 16 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, shot 5 of 16. Again, not very pretty. 6 of 8 from the line, was 0 of 7 from three-point range. He had 4 steals in the ball game and a block, was a +9 when he was on the floor. But again, did not make the 3. Right, so it's really tough to try and win games this way. Fred VanVleet had 19 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, better than his Game 1 performance. Shot 8 of 22 still, and again, 3 of 12 from 3. I think he was 2 of 12 from 3 in Game 1. So still not shooting the 3 very well for the Toronto Raptors are the main guys. I mean, 1 steal and a block again for Freddie was a -3 while he was on the floor. And your bench, other than Serge Ibaka, didn't really give you anything. Norman Powell was 1 of 5 from the field, missed both threes. Serge Ibaka was 7 of 12 from the field, and was 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Had 17 points, 9 boards, a couple assists, and he was a -10 when he was on the floor. He had a tough night in the defensive end today. That's why they tried to play a little bit more Marc Gasol, but he fouled out. You didn't see really anything of Chris Boucher and Terrence Davis. Both guys combined for 0 for 3 and 0 for 2 from 3. And both guys were minuses on the floor. You didn't make your shots. Let's see the big 3, or I guess you can say, let's say big 3 of Siakam, Freddie, and Kyle. What did their 3-point shooting look like today? Those are your 3 main guys. What'd they look like? All right. Siakam was 1 of 4. Lowry was 0 of 7. And Freddie was 3 of 12. Freddie VanVleet had quite a few wide open shots and didn't knock them down. Let's go to the big 3 of the Boston Celtics. Let's say Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Jason Tatum. We know Tatum was 4 of 7. We already talked about that. Kemba was 1 of 8 from 3, so that ain't pretty. But Marcus Smart, 6 of 11. You combine that. 10 3-pointers made by Marcus Smart, sorry. Jaylen Brown was 3 of 8, excuse me. So you combine the makes, that's, what is that? That's 8 3-point shots made. You go to the Raptors, big guys. All right, they combined for 4. And I understand people are like, well, it's not a big difference. It's only 4 3-pointers. Yeah, that's a 12-point gap just from your main guys. Don't forget Marcus Smart knocked down 6. The Raptors struggled shooting the 3 again today. That's got to be the focal point moving into Game 3 if they want to get back into this series. I understand people want to go home and see their families. Well, the Raptors have their families for the most part here in the bubble. So, I don't know what else to say, guys. I really don't. I want to talk about the stats. I wanted to break down the Celtics numbers as well and really show you guys why this team lost today and what needs to change going into Game 3. Look, they're not turning the ball over. They had 25 assists. They moved the ball very well. They were 80-something% from the free throw line. They were doing well there. But you're not making your field goals and you're not making your threes. You don't do that, you're going to lose a lot of ball games. And you lost today and you lost Game 1 because of it. You want to win Game 3? Make your shots. Period. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and did not enjoy the basketball game today, but if you're a Celtics fan and enjoy the game, smash the like button ahead. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video, guys. I want to hear your guys' take. Let me know in the comments below what your take was on this game and what this Raptor team needs to do in Game 3 to get back into the series, because something's got to be done, and making shots is the big one, but how are they going to do so? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any suggestions. All right. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram link is down in the description. So if you have not followed up the Instagram link or Instagram page already, please go do so. And I will talk to you guys, Jay's Edition, later on tonight. Actually, they tied it up. It's 2-2 game right now against the Miami Marlins. We'll talk to you guys later about that. And we'll talk to you guys Game 3, Raps Celtics. It's on Thursday, 6:30 tip-off. as the Raptors look to get back into the series, get a win, feel good one time at least. Let's get something going here. Game 3, Raps Celtics, 6:30 tip-off on Thursday, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Talk to you guys then.